Hello once again. This is your host, AZDeadpool, and this time, this is just going to be sort of a review type of episode of Phoenix Fan Fusion. Right off the bat, I had so much fun throughout these last 3 days. For those of you that don't know, Phoenix Fan Fusion was, at least this most recent one, was supposed to happen in 2020. Pandemic happened. Got pushed initially to a later date, got pushed again, and then eventually just decided to have the con this past weekend, which was Memorial Day weekend. But yeah, it was so much fun. It's been 3 years. It does not seem like it's been 3 years since the last time I was at a huge con or anything like that. Boy, it was Friday, sure kicked my ass. It really did. It really reminded me that my body was not in con shape at all. I was just Deadpool that day, and I had one of the worst headaches I can remember in a long time. But overall, Friday was a success, Saturday was a success, and so was Sunday. It was Friday was pretty busy and everything like that. I think overall for the con itself, if I had to point out one flaw or one glaring flaw, at least, it was getting in line that Friday morning for badge redemption. It was awful. There's no way to really skate around it or anything like that. It was horrible. Lines were wrapped around buildings to try and get your badge and everything like that. And this was in high 90-degree weather too, so with little to no shading at all in Arizona. I'm not sure what kind of thought process went into that. I don't think it would have been as bad if they had put out tents, canopies, some sort of shading, because there were tons of little kids that were sitting or standing in line. There were a bunch of handicapable people too that were just suffering out there with us, which that's not right. If anything, handicapable people should be able to get their stuff first ahead of all of us and everything like that. They should also make exceptions for children too, because children can't withstand heat like a lot of us can. I'm not sure why they went with being able to only pick up your badge on site, whereas a couple the last few years, as long as you bought them within a certain time period, you'd have them mailed to you. I'm not quite sure why they changed that, because again, I bought my ticket back at the end of 2019, and obviously they let your ticket roll over to 2022. But even at that, since the tickets have been secured for about 3 years, why didn't they give the option to mail at least those that had bought them way in advance, or just didn't didn't cancel theirs? I wish that would have been an option, because it would have made things a lot easier. Because Friday, standing outside in that heat, it was bad. My Deadpool suit has patches or bits of fake leather and everything, and I could feel just all of the heat being drawn into that. So yeah, I was cooking and everything like that. Not to say I was the only one suffering, because 99% of other people were suffering there with me in line as well. I just wish they would have done a little better with that at the very least. Other thing that kind of comes to mind was their water policy. Now I can understand people sneaking in alcohol and stuff like that and everything, but I just don't quite understand the whole if you're bringing a water bottle full, you have to dump it out right then and there, drink it or dump it out. It seems it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. on the flip side of that, I understand like the convention or like the building, like the convention center itself would want people to spend money on their facilities and everything like that. Like, I can understand that, but seeing as how we are in Arizona, one of the like hottest like states in the nation, why isn't water something that's like readily available for free at the very least? I don't think it would not have done them any sort of positivity if people were like had heat stroke or started passing out in line and everything like that. After you got through your badge redemption, you would head over to like the security checkpoint and everything like that, and within like there, like the that was all tented, and the badge redemption stations were tented as well for the volunteers that were working there too, because I gotta give props to the people that were like handling that. Whether and I don't know, like some people were probably frustrated with them and everything like that, and I can understand that, but at the same time, I have to give like the people running like the volunteer stuff like props too, because that's not easy. Like sitting outside, like handing people their badges and everything like that. Like everyone just wants to be able to have a smooth experience, but it's probably not always going to happen that way. I'm sure they did the best they could and everything like that, but I know like sitting outside and dealing with like a huge like literal sea of people was not easy. So I give like props to the people that volunteered their time to do like that kind of work for badge redemption and security and all that kind of stuff. So it's not easy, but yeah, once you get through like the badge redemption area, go to security, and if you're in cosplay or have a prop, you get it piece bonded. What I liked this year too with the prop area was they were actually taking pictures of people's props, which I think is a little bit of a smarter like route to go. That way they kind of have a record of what was brought in. That way nothing really kind of gets past them. The rules on their props are iffy. I've seen some posts that say one thing and other signs outside that said another. Communication wasn't the best. I know that's another thing that's been like heavily criticized, and fairly so. I've seen vendors were confused about their booth areas and everything like that. So communication could definitely be like better too, and I'm sure like they'll hear about this one way or another, because I know they sent out surveys about what your experiences were like and everything like that. If people don't fill out the surveys and everything like that, there's always social media that I'm sure they'll hear about too. So I'm hoping that the people that run like the convention, both the Fan Fusion and that also are in charge of the convention center itself, I hope they take a lot of this into consideration and kind of take this as somewhat of a learning experience, since it's been 3 years since Arizona had like a really, really huge con, and I hope they apply that to next year and everything like that. And like speaking of next year, and this is solely my opinion, I saw that they made the announcement yesterday as of this recording, like Phoenix Fan Fusion next year will be June 2nd through the 4th. Me personally, I do not like that they're having the con even further into like hotter like weather times. I actually like that it's on Memorial Day weekend, even despite the weather and everything like that, because normally like if you go 3 days, 3 to 4 days, and then you have like that, most people have Memorial Day off to kind of decompress and recover and everything like that. So I'm not sure. I have to like take a guess that maybe something else has the convention center already booked for Memorial Day weekend next year, and that's why we're not getting it on the same days. But that's just speculation on my part. So it should be interesting, because again, like going into June, that's going to be even slightly hotter weather than what we had like this year. I know at one point when Fan Fusion was still like seeing like when the dates were going to stick. There was at one point it was going to be in January, which would have been amazing. I'm not quite sure why we as a state don't have like a convention in like I think like around colder times. I think the best kind of time frame for that would probably be like, I'd say November through like March would probably be like the best time to have like a huge convention. It's just way better weather. Don't have to worry about overheating or anything like that. But again, I don't control anything. This is all purely speculation on my part. I know people have very much like voiced their opinions on, you know, why can't we have a con like this, like in colder weather where it would probably be a lot easier, you know, just all around. But again, that's my opinion and everything like that. Friday it was busy. There was a lot of people. That's another thing that comes to mind is this one was originally supposed to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Got shortened to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it looks like next year Fan Fusion will also be 3 days again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure if this is going to be the new norm going forward. I was always kind of used to the 4 days, because normally I would take Thursday as a day to just kind of go around the con, see what's in there. If I really want to buy anything, just kind of casually go. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be reserved for cosplay. I think 2019 was the first year that I cosplayed all 4 days. It was pretty fun though. But I'm not sure why we're sticking with 3 days. Maybe it's just easier, like programming wise, or I don't know. But rest assured, I like barring anything horrific or anything like that, I will be there next year at Fan Fusion 2023. As far as other cons go, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I think the next like con on the horizon for me would probably be Sabaton, which I believe is at the end of August of this year, down at the Sheraton in downtown Phoenix. I think that'll be fun. It's arguably Arizona's biggest anime con, so that should be pretty fun to go to. Okay, but alright, getting back to Friday, super busy. It was crowded, like pretty crowded, like a little bit more crowded than I expected for Friday. Saturday was Friday had I was so like dead tired. My body was completely mad at me, like yelling at me, like, why the hell are you putting us through this? Like, we haven't done this in almost 3 years. Like, why are we doing this? I just remember the drive back home. I had such a bad headache. I'm glad, like, because what I wanted to do was preemptively take like some sort of ibuprofen or aspirin, and I should have. And if I did, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But that's that's on past me, so I learned very, very fast and the hard way. Saturday was a lot of fun too. Probably the biggest day, as you'd probably expect out of all 3 days. It was super packed, like jam packed. It was kind of, you didn't have like a whole lot of personal space to yourself, especially if you were walking downstairs in the vendor hall. It's kind of like shoulder to shoulder type of like traffic and everything like that. This time around, I did take some aspirin ahead of time, and I'm pretty sure like my body thanks me for it. But Saturday was the Spider-Verse meetup, which was so much fun. I like it. Pretty much got out of control very, very fast, but not in a bad way. I wanted to get to the location spot like at least a half hour early to kind of stake out the spot, like, because there are other people that are going to be like sitting down and around, which is completely fine. But I figured if I can like, at least get there, some people will probably see like, hey, there's a Spider-Man, this is probably where it's at, and then it would kind of go from there. And as more and more people would gather, and I figured like anyone else around that wasn't going to be a part of the meetup, if they saw like more and more like Spider-Man cosplayers showing up, they probably would be like, okay, I should probably go somewhere else or something. But thankfully no one was rude or anything like that, because again, since I was the host of this, I didn't want any like sort of bad connotations to come from it or anything like that. So yeah, thankfully no one was rude. Pretty much as soon as I got to the spot, there were a couple of other like cosplayers there, like Spider-Man cosplayers there already. It wasn't until like maybe 5 to 7 minutes later, I know, like all of a sudden there's like a huge like group has already, like the group had like showed up, and from there it just like kept getting like bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not quite sure exactly what the numbers were as to how many people we had, but I'd have to venture a guess of maybe around somewhere between like maybe 40 and 50 like cosplayers, and maybe that's an over exaggeration, I'm not sure. Like at this point it's kind of all of a blur. I just know like it was a really like good sizable group of people. Shout out to Plaid Hippo on Instagram. He was the photographer like I chose to take pictures for this. He's amazing. Like if you're local, he's one of the best photographers out there. Seek him out. Like if you need any like photography done. But yeah, like it was so much fun. The people, like seeing people's reactions, because again, like as soon as you get like a small group of like spider people, some people like just walking past like the location would be like start taking pictures, and then that would kind of get more and more like Spider-Verse like or spider like cosplayers like joining in. As pretty much as soon as more like cosplayers joined, more people showed up to take pictures and everything like that. So it was a wild ride in like the best way possible. Very like fun kind of chaos and everything like that. It was a lot of fun just being able to like to get people together like that, to get people to make new friends and just like share their love of like Spider-Man and everything like that. It was so much fun and everything. So it was just, again, like chaotic in the best way possible. So soon after that, like it was one of those things, like I'm sure if you're a cosplayer, you probably know the whole thing of when you kind of get cornered. And I don't want to say cornered, but it's like, for lack of a better term, someone will take a picture of you or want to take a picture of you, and then you try and like you're trying to get like somewhere else, but you keep getting stopped for pictures. That's kind of what happened with a good portion of us. I ended up like staying like at the location for a lot longer than I anticipated, because I would kind of think, okay, it looks like we're kind of winding down, and then more and more people were like, hey, can we get a picture of you and everything like that. And I do not mind whatsoever. It's like I don't mind taking pictures. It's part of the fun of being in cosplay and everything like that. So it was just kind of funny seeing as how when you think you can like get away, like you get pulled in for like another picture and everything like that. But it was fun. I think it's pretty safe to say, it's safe to say here, like you can pretty much expect like another Spider-Verse meetup for 2023. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know if I'll have any information at this time or anytime soon. Just know that it'll probably happen again next year. Saturday, yes. It was pretty cool though. I'm trying to remember exactly all of what happened, because I am recording this right now on a Monday, May 30th, and you'd think that I have a better recollection, but a lot of it was a blur. It's tiring, but way worth it, above all else. Trying to think here, because I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday now, but one of the bigger highlights of the con, like for me personally, was they had voice actors from the show Futurama, which I love Futurama, and as far as I can tell, like the voice cast doesn't do like very many like comic like signings, or they don't go to very many conventions to do signings and everything like that. So I debated back and forth a lot whether or not I wanted to get some, like, stuff autographed by them and everything like that, but I'm glad that I did and everything like that. It was 100% well worth it. I'm pretty sure it was sometime during Saturday, though. I went in line for Billy West. Billy West does the voice of one of the main characters of Futurama, Philip J. Fry. The line was pretty easy to get through and everything like that. He was so sweet and everything like that. He's done so many voices of so many things that I grew up watching and love. Futurama obviously being one of the things. He's also the voice of the Red M&M, but he's also was the voice of Doug from Disney's Doug, and Doug was like one of my favorite like shows growing up too. So being able to like meet someone like that who, and I know like a lot of the time it's like, you know, don't meet your heroes and stuff like that. They're not going to be what you expect them to be. But Billy West, like, he was just so sweet and so kind, and I can see like the people that were ahead of me, like he like legitimately like took the time to talk to them and listen to them and everything like that. And like he just seemed genuinely happy to interact with like fans and everything like that. But on Saturday, I got my Fry Funko Pop signed by him and everything like that, which, oh man, it made me so happy and everything like that. It really, really did. And then, so that kind of wrapped up Saturday. And then Sunday was a little bit more hectic, but again, all of it was very worth it. So Sunday started out with, I hopped right in line for John DiMaggio. John DiMaggio is the voice of another Futurama character, Bender. I know a lot of people also will know him as Jake the dog from Adventure Time. He's also had like a lot of other roles too that now that I'm blanking on and stuff like Draken from Kim Possible as well. But I feel like someone like Draken, Jake the dog, and Bender were probably like his most notable roles. Standing in line, like it was fun. It was fine. Got in line. He was on time, which was nice because I was on a very like time-sensitive schedule. Was able to meet him. I had I guess you can call it like a bust of like Bender, kind of like I want to say it might be like a 1-to-1 scale of what his head would actually be, but it was like a special edition of like the first run of Futurama. Had all 5 seasons on DVD plus the 4 movies and everything like that in the back of the head, and I'll throw up pictures of all of this stuff too. But it was really cool because I got him to sign that and everything like that too. And at the same time, I had also had my younger brother like stand in line for Billy West again because I had another like Funko Pop that I wanted him to sign. That in hindsight, I probably should have like brought both. That way, I could have like got it all done at once. But yeah, I didn't plan this out very well. So yeah, in John DiMaggio's line, it was so much fun getting to interact with him, tell him like how much like Futurama like means to me and everything like that, and that he just seems like he gives off very fun uncle energy and everything like that. Again, kind of the same thing with Billy West. Like he takes the time to like talk to like the people that are there getting his autograph, and he listens to them and like interacts with them and everything. Like it's not just like, hey, like sign this and then see you later. He was super fun to like interact with and everything like that. But yeah, got my Bender sign and then hopped over into Billy West's line again to get my Zoidberg Pop sign. And again, Billy West is just so sweet. Took the time with everyone. Yeah, there's not much else I can say. They're both just amazing like human beings, and I'm so grateful to actually have met them. And yeah, like that's kind of like a bucket list thing off of me because I'm not usually one for like celebrity autograph signings and stuff like that, but it has to be like kind of like the right celebrity or like voice actor or what have you for me. Yeah, I just don't do it very often, but I couldn't pass like this up. So yeah, very well worth it. So after getting my 2 signatures, went over to my car, changed into Spider-Man, and had like a little like kind of mini shoot with a couple of other like local cosplayers, AZ underscore Underoos, and then that one art guy. We were recreating all of the 3 Spider-Man like meme-ness, so that was pretty fun. Kind of another situation where we would take pictures for like our own enjoyment and everything like that, but then people would walk by like, hey, can we get a picture of you, like, can you guys do the point meme? And it was so much fun, like, to have stuff like that happen. And it was like a little just fun, like, little mini shoot. Like, it was just so much fun. I hope they know that it was a lot of fun and meant a lot that they wanted like to do something like this. So yeah, again, I'll be putting pictures like throughout like what I'm talking about up on this, and like to match with the audio and everything. But so much fun. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be using that phrase in words, like the same words a lot, because this is something that was like 3 years in the making for like con, and now it's like it finally happened and everything like that, and kind of just like it came and now it went. So, but after like the mini spider shoot, went back to my car, changed again, which again is a first for me. I've never done like a 2 like cosplay change thing. Like, I haven't done like multiple cosplays in a day. I tend to just stick to one because that just seems like way too exhausting for me, but I was able to handle it pretty well. But after being Spider-Man again, it was time for AZDeadpool, which this was the first time I ever brought AZDeadpool to like a fan fusion, because I've brought AZDeadpool before to like Saboten, and I brought AZDeadpool earlier to Anime Arizona. Usually almost always like people enjoy like seeing it, which again makes me feel happy because I love being able to bring smiles to like people's faces and everything like that. So this was the first time I brought it to like Arizona's like biggest con, so it was a lot of fun. Like, just seeing people's reactions, like just kind of pointing like, hey, that's really cool, that's such a Deadpool thing to do, and like it just made me like really happy on the inside and everything like that. I'm always surprised that, because my go-to pose, I know there's a specific like Sailor Moon pose and everything like that, but the one I usually go to is throwing 2 peace signs and then like kind of kicking up a leg and everything like that. I'm surprised like with how coordinated I usually am not. I'm surprised I can usually hold that for as that pose as long as I can. But yeah, it was fun, tiring, but really, really fun overall. Got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. It's always sad, like seeing like you go back, like after one day of con, and you'll see like some of your friends have posted like, oh yeah, like I wore this, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I didn't see you. Like, I feel so bad and everything like that. But there were a few people that I didn't get to see as much as I wanted to. But again, it's kind of unavoidable in a sense, because you're dealing with a literal like sea of people, so you're probably not always going to find everyone that you want to, unless like you kind of are like stick to your phone and make sure that you find this person and everything like that, and kind of communicate. And communicate in itself can be kind of difficult, because the convention doesn't have the best reception a lot. So, but either way, just seeing my other friends that I didn't get to interact with, seeing that they had fun too, was just like even better too, because this is something that's been missing from like the cosplay scene and everything like that. We've had like smaller cons here and there, but I know like Fan Fusion is like the big con of Arizona. So seeing that it finally happened, it's like, okay, now what? So post-con blues are very much a thing, and I am kind of experiencing that right now, because you get that kind of high of like getting into cosplay, seeing friends, and like interacting with people, and then it's like it's gone up like until next year. So yeah, it's gonna be quite the kind of come down, but it's at least it'll be in the back of my mind that it'll happen again. It just gotta wait for it. And again, there are cons in between too. So, but yeah, I'm also surprised my body is not sore like I thought it might be. I know like Friday was like kind of a good like test of like what it could take. I mean my legs were like dead almost after every day, but my body seemed to recover pretty decently afterwards, because at least after Friday my body was like, okay, this is what we'll be doing the next couple days, we can adapt. And I think it did pretty nicely. Like, I only had a really bad headache on Friday, somewhat of a headache on Saturday, but didn't have a headache on Sunday, which I was kind of surprised about, because my Sailor Moon wig is heavy as hell, and coupled with like the bit of like a half shell that I have in my Deadpool mask, it'll like kind of compress my forehead / temple area. So, but yeah, I'm glad to see like so many people like having fun again and everything like that at the convention. And as far as I know, I haven't seen anything negative other than like wait times and badges and everything like that. I haven't seen anything as of this recording come out negatively about the con, which is good in itself, because this is unfortunately, like, conventions are a time where like people will try and like take advantage of others and be like really like unfortunately be creeps to like other people. So as far as I know so far, like nothing has come out of that, so I hope it stays that way, because again, cosplay shouldn't be like something that is cosplay should be a safe place. Let's just put it at that. I know there's always going to be bad people and everything like that, but I'm hoping that this is, if nothing bad comes out of this, I hope it's a trend that stays, because yeah. And even if like people were feeling uncomfortable, I'm hoping that they sought or got the help and they needed, because unfortunately too many times where something happens at a convention, like security or whatever the case may be, just kind of like doesn't do much about it, and then that really puts a sour taste in the mouth of like other people, and then yeah, it pretty much creates a domino effect of like bad things. But yeah, I'm hoping nothing negative comes out of this con other than like wait times and like food and stuff like that, and communication. I'm hoping they can improve upon like the wait times. Hopefully they'll be able to mail out badges next year. I hope communication like gets a lot better than it was this year and everything like that. So I think with that in mind, I'm gonna kind of wrap up this episode. It's kind of a shorter one, which is probably in the best interest for everyone here, because yeah, I don't think I could necessarily fill about an hour just talking about the convention, because most of it's been like it's a blur at this point. I just know I had fun. I know a lot of other people had fun. I spent a good amount of money too and everything like that, but it was 100% worth it. So yeah, it's kind of sad now that it's over, but I'm glad it happened. So yeah, wrap it up there, and if I don't see you guys anytime soon in person, well actually, wait, that reminds me, sorry. I'm gonna try and like get more episodes done again with actual other cosplayers other than myself talking, so it's just more so a matter of equipment. So hopefully I'll have that figured out pretty soon, and then you'll actually have like, I'll actually be able to live up to the name of this origin stories name. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode and everything like that. So yeah, take care of yourself.